Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know,
Hi friends, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name's Fee, and if you haven't already, I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. So guys, before I even get started or proceed with today's topic, I wanted to say a huge thank you to all my subscribers for all the love and support that you've been showing me on my recent videos. You know guys, when I started the series of videos about me in the Netherlands, I mostly made the videos because I had so many questions about different things in the Netherlands that we didn't understand because we were new here, and I felt like I didn't want to burden my neighbors by constantly asking them questions, and so I figured that YouTube would be a good way to get these questions answered. And let me tell you what guys, I did not expect to come out with a community of people, and more so than anything, I did not expect to make friendships from the channel. And there's a lot of you who always comment on the videos. I actually look forward to your comments, but more than anything, I just want to let you know that your support does not go unnoticed, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So guys, in today's video, I want to talk about what my experience driving in the Netherlands has been compared to the United States. This is actually going to be a two-part video. So the first part, I'll be talking about what I've had to adjust to as far as driving in the Netherlands. And the second part of the video is going to be what I absolutely love about driving in the Netherlands. So I want you guys to go ahead and get comfy. If you're in my home, I'd have offered you a drink, but because you're not, go ahead and get yourself your favorite drink and we'll get right into it. So for some good context, just so you guys understand a little bit of a backstory, I was a late bloomer when it came to driving. I honestly did not drive until I was 24. So unlike my friends who were eager to get their driver's license when they were still in high school at 16 years old, I just didn't get my license. I was always very nervous about driving. I guess I was claustrophobic about having cars around me. And so it wasn't until we bought a home in the suburbs that I needed to get my driver's license. And this is because there isn't much of public transportation once you move into the suburbs, and I was always in the city. So I never really felt the need to pursue a driver's license. In addition to that, for better context, I'm currently driving in the Netherlands with my United States driver's license. The Netherlands allows me to use my US driver's license for a temporary allocated amount of time, and then after that, I need to transition over to a Dutch driver's license. Now, ideally, I would have loved to already have my Dutch driver's license, but my plate is kind of full at the beginning of this year because I work full-time. I'm obviously a full-time mom and wife, and then you guys will be excited about this. I'm actually starting my Dutch classes on January 17th, and those will be twice a week. So it really didn't leave much time for me to be able to get my test for my driver's license, and I will not be able to do that until April. So keep in mind that I am driving with my US driver's license when I talk about a lot of the points that I'm addressing. And then guys, something else to note is that with the first part of the video, with me talking about the things that I need to adjust to, I want to stress that I am not saying that there's anything wrong with these rules or how they are, because I know someone is gonna come at me in the comment section and say that, well, this is not the United States. And you're absolutely right, it's not. In fact, the things that I'm about to address are not the problem. If anything, I'm the problem, and I need to get acclimated to these rules. So the first thing I would like to address is the traffic lights and how most of them are actually on the side of the road as opposed to like up top. And I'll insert a clip just so you guys know what I'm talking about as far as what I'm used to. So most of the traffic lights in the United States are always usually very big, and right ahead of you as opposed to the side. So what happens to me often in the Netherlands is that I find myself like doing one of these or like one of these because the cars are like really small. And then in addition to that, sometimes I'm so focused on what's ahead of me until someone will like honk and I'll realize, oh no, the traffic lights are actually on the side and that I missed the green light. So it's definitely taking me some getting used to on not having the big traffic lights up top. Now, I've definitely come across several that are up top, but more of them when you're within the towns are usually more off to the sides. And something else that I definitely do not think actually exists in the Netherlands is turning right on red. So guys, the way this works in the United States is that, or at least I should say in my state and many other states, honestly, is that if you have a red light, you can still make a right on red. Now, obviously, you can't go straight or you can't make a left, but you can make a right. You always want to check and make sure that no one is coming from your left side or you don't have any pedestrians or bicycles coming from your right. But I've noticed that in the Netherlands, you definitely cannot make a right on red. And I'm assuming the reason why this definitely isn't implemented here in the Netherlands is because of all the cyclists that you have and the bike lanes. But maybe you guys can confirm that for me in the comment section if the reason why there's no right on red in the Netherlands is because of the cyclists. And something else I've noticed is how some roads are so tight. And when I usually get on these roads, I find myself getting worried and freaking out that I'm going down a one way, but then I'll see a car behind me and I'll realize, okay, I'm actually going the right way, but you have to pull off to the side and let the cars in the opposite direction pass. So I'm definitely not used to the super tight roads, but the benefit of that is that being in the Netherlands, most cars are small. So even when you're pulling off to the side, it's not too much of an issue or too much of a production as far as leaving room for the car that's going on the opposite side. Another thing, guys, is that I'm always struggling to find speed limits. And someone told me that once you get into a certain area, they always have like the speed limits listed, that they're not listed all through. I guess I'm used to where the speed limits are all kind of like lined up as you're driving. And I'll be the first to admit that I drive like an old lady. Like I follow the speed limits to a T. I'm certainly not one who's thrilled by speed. So I'm always looking for the speed limits and I don't see them. And so I'm always worrying that I may be going too fast or maybe going too slow. But that's the one thing I've noticed is that I don't see too many plaques up with a speed limit listed. And then guys, finally, the last thing that has by far been my biggest struggle is the roundabouts and the no stop signs. So I kid you not, guys, I've never had any experience with roundabouts before I moved to the Netherlands. Like those absolutely do not exist in my city. So when I first got here in a car, I was like so worried about who goes first. But then I was quickly taught that the person who's on the right goes first. And then in addition to that, we'll sometimes come up to like a four-way stop or a three-way stop and there's no stop signs. And I have no clue what to do because in the US, the way it works with the stop signs is that you have either a three-way or a four-way stop and the person that gets there first is the person that leaves first. But people actually don't follow that rule because a lot of times the person with a bigger car always goes before you. But here I found that there's no stop signs and I'm assuming that the same rule applies, is that the person that's on the right goes first as well. I have one more thing that I almost forgot to talk about. So I usually take one particular route to drive my son to hockey practice, but the last time when I was taking him, I got to a certain road and there was this metal round barrier that was just sitting there, and so I couldn't like drive past it. And I'm like, wait, am I going crazy? I've never seen this here before. I'm not sure where it came from. I figured if I moved a little closer, it would go down. Can you guys tell me what was that? And why was it there on that day and it's never been there before? But I was so confused about it and I ended up putting it in my GPS and finding an alternate route, but I had never seen that before. Anyways, guys, like I said, I clearly still have a lot to learn when it comes to driving in the Netherlands. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to be able to get my Dutch license until April. So I know there's going to be a lot more things that are going to be clearer when I take my lessons and get my driver's license. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. And next week will be the part 2 where I'll be talking about the things that I really enjoy about driving in the Netherlands compared to the United States. So I hope hope you guys give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, bye guys.
Won't stop for traffic lights.